One of my biggest fears when planning the tour around Ireland and figuring out the merchandise was that I wouldn't have a good vehicle to sell. But thanks to Shopify, I can use justgoodstuff.ie. I can update the website from my dressing room. With Shopify, it's not just websites like justgoodstuff.ie. They're also the platform behind millions and millions of businesses around the world, from household names to other brands just getting started. Shopify has so many AI tools. They can even enhance your product photography. You can easily create email and social media campaigns wherever your customers are scrolling. It's got world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping. It can process returns. It's super, super simple. So basically, turn your big business idea into... with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your €1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.ie. Go to shopify.ie. That's shopify.ie. It's time to see what you can accomplish with Shopify by your side.
Mark Megan's Weekly Roast, a GoLoud original.
Welcome back to the Weekly Roast. How's it going, guys? How the hell are you? How are your hearts? And of course, how are your heads? Guys, you're very welcome today to this sort of special episode of Granny Theft Auto. So we're going to need a sequel title there. Granny Theft Auto Part 2, Spice City.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Just for the listeners who also grew up as 14-year-old gamers in this country. Nevertheless, we're here for a bonus episode because we've heard from the wife. And usually on this show, this is quite peculiar, a sort of peculiar crossroads that I find myself at, because usually, particularly in recent times, without naming any names, but usually when we get people sending voice notes into the show, they are usually very much on the contrary to what I believe, and they are, dare I say, antagonistic and aggressive.
Fair.
Whereas in this instance, like, I am team wife till I die. I am very much on the side of this woman in her current predicament. And after listening to her voice note, it's not that I'm even more on her side, because I was always on her side, but I do just feel an enormous amount of empathy for her situation. Prior to playing the voice note, I feel like we should bring people up to speed. There's no point listening to this episode if you haven't listened to yesterday, so I would advise you to listen to the first episode of Granny Theft Auto.
For sure.
Before listening to this. But the reaction was mostly team wife, right?
I think understandably, yeah.
Well, I would be of the belief that any sort of reasonable-minded person... You can't always expect people to be rational in life, but you can certainly expect the majority to be reasonable, I think. When push comes to shove, you can expect people to be reasonable. And I do believe that most people, in their response to yesterday's show and to the situation with this lady and her mother-in-law, their reasonable response was, you need to create a boundary because that woman has been overstepping the mark for quite some time now.
Yeah.
I did get two relatively strongly worded dissenting opinions in the DMs, which is where the madness seems to always come out to play. Number one was somebody who sent me the message and then blocked me. So such was
brilliant.
Their courage and conviction in their beliefs that they had to send it and then block me. So they said, listen to pod this morning. Surprised with your platform, you aren't encouraging more people to get the opportunity of better education when they are presented with it. You had access to these schools growing up, but not everybody does. Quite the loaded statement there.
To say the least, yeah.
So, first and foremost, we don't even know what school that this mother-in-law is sort of offering money towards, right? That's the first thing. Yeah. Number two, we have who are we to say what school is better? Do you know what I mean?
Completely.
How nobody has stated high up or low down which school would be better or worse for, do you know what I mean?
We've never discussed what schools the person should or shouldn't go to.
Exactly. I made a couple of jokey remarks about private schools, and if anything, they were sort of like pejorative in my, tone of voice.
Nearly, yeah.
I was not
100%.
remarking that there's some sort of superior education. So that's bizarre. And then to have the dig at me and say you had access to these schools growing up, and not everybody does. It's like, okay, you can mention privilege. That doesn't change the sentiment of this podcast about the school, which got nothing to do with better schools. So that's just a weird opinion to have. Sorry, you're entitled to your opinion, but it's unusual that that's what you came away with from this saga, wherein a mother-in-law is, as far as I'm concerned, bullishly trying to impose her hard, fast and beliefs on education onto this young family. That was the first one. Number 2, right, which is, I suppose, a little bit more reasonable, but still I disagree. But for the sake of balance, I'm going to read it out. Okay. At least this person didn't block me, so fair play. Mother-in-law could be doing a good deed that is mistaken as controlling by the daughter-in-law. Very easy to label all mother-in-laws as nasty, but I know of many daughters-in-law who have been just as dishonest and argumentative over the years. Yes, I think that's everything could, that, of course that could be true. Do you know what I mean? And everything in isolation needs to be reviewed. We're not buying into tropes here of every mother-in-law is a bloody nightmare or every...
No, not in the slightest.
So, that could be true, of course. And it's particularly in this instance, yes, absolutely it could be true that the daughter-in-law is difficult. I will play you the voice note now, and I'll let you be the judge. But that's not...
It's important to say, though, I think, okay, on its own merits, potentially a nice gesture, but we're seeing
just to clarify,
pattern.
Sorry, just to clarify, what does potentially mean? Because I've never actually heard that.
Did I say that?
Just a dick. Just a complete dick. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Sorry, my elocution lesson's at 5 o'clock. Apologies. Fuck's sake. Potentially, on its own merit, a nice gesture, okay?
Yeah.
But the wife discussed a pattern of behaviours that are overbearing and where boundaries are clearly being crossed. So I don't think, you can...
I feel like taking the car is that's...
Yeah.
There's not two sides to every story there. There's the car, and then there's the ownership of the car, and then there's somebody taking it without permission, and it's fairly clean cut as far as I'm concerned. Look, they of course there were people who are on that side. Fortunately, I do think the majority are on the side of the wife, and that's sort of why we're going to call her Cleena. I spoke to Cleena this morning. She was sort of rejoicing in the fact that there were messages coming in under the episode from yesterday, in support and in favour of her, because as she mentioned, seems like she's fairly cut off socially. So yeah, it's just nice that she feels a little bit validated from the response to the podcast. Now, this is where it gets tricky. I'll play you her voice note, and obviously everyone is entitled to interpret what they want from it. But I did speak to Cleena afterwards, because my belief on the matter, right, is actually that the mother-in-law should not be the focus here.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and that's something I respectfully and because I know her husband has listened, and she mentioned that he listened, but I think it falls on him. And that's
very interesting.
I'm not saying that to just be inflammatory for the sake of it, but I do think that the onus is actually entirely on the husband to both be supportive to his wife, but also to quote unquote reprimand, or at the very least implement a boundary there with his mother. And I think his silence is bloody deafening. So I mean, Cleena is getting approval on this before it gets released, so everybody's clear. She's also already signed off on the voice note. We edited it in order to in order to hide any revealing details, because we're not a fan of witch hunts, and we've also distorted her voice within an inch of its life, so then she's not recognisable. So yeah, I'm going to play her voice note now, and then let's hear her think. Okay, sounds good. How's it going, guys? Anybody out there who has ever set up a small business or a business on the side or their own company will be aware of how all of a sudden overnight you have to wear basically like 1,000 different hats. Whenever I launched justgoodstuff.ie earlier in the year to sell all my merchandise, it was honestly so unbelievably liberating to discover Shopify and to realize that I was actually capable of running and developing my business further myself. With Shopify, it's not just websites like justgoodstuff.ie. They're also the platform behind millions and millions of businesses around the world, from household names to other brands just getting started. Shopify has so many AI tools. They can even enhance your product photography. You can easily create email and social media campaigns wherever your customers are scrolling. It's got world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping. It can process returns. It's super, super simple. So basically, turn your big business idea into with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your €1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.ie. Go to shopify.ie. That's shopify.ie. It's time to see what you can accomplish with Shopify by your side.
Hi Mark, and thanks for using my situation for the pod this week. It's been really uplifting to read some of the replies below the episode because after seeing the comments, I was worried nobody agreed with me. I married my partner a bit later in life because he was actually married when we first met. I think his mother has held it against me, thinking I was the one who drove them apart, even though his ex was the one who finished things with him. But she'd never view it that way. From the start of our relationship, Mark, she has made me feel like I'm not good enough for her son. Would mention things in passing like, do you remember how much you loved that trip to Disney? Knowing full well he went with. The big problem, Mark, is that she doesn't live far from our farm and would always insist on us calling in on the way out to dinner and sometimes on the way home as well. I thought it was a bit much, but didn't raise an issue until I moved in because I didn't think it was my place. The husband says she just means well and has been very close with his exes. There'd often be times when she'd be in our house and fall asleep on the sofa. Rather than waking her up and dropping her home, he would let her sleep on the couch or carry her up to the spare room. I said nothing at the start, thinking the nigs would change when we got married. But actually that's when they got worse. We are 8 years together and 4 of those have been with a son. And we've only left the country without her coming with us twice. Once for our honeymoon and the other for a wedding overseas. I came home one day from a run and found my car was gone, but he said his mother had taken it because she had to go in to do some bits. She had texted him saying she'd taken my car, but not me. I got upset about it, so she then texted me saying she only texted him because she's not good with the phone. She's very good with her son, and I am grateful he has a nana who cares for him, but she always calls him my little baby, which makes me uncomfortable because it comes across possessive.
Right.
Wow.
I mean, so much to look at there. I'm also like, can we be mindful to the listeners that it's, 1 in the middle of the night. So, forgive me if I'm also in my shed and I have my top off because it's still that warm. So, forgive me. I'm trying to keep my voice down because Rosie's obviously asleep upstairs. Forgive me if the energy isn't as loud as you'd like, as it usually is. But there's so much to get into here.
My first thoughts are,
Yeah, sorry, go on.
No, I completely agree with you from what you said before.
Like, I do think that for me, there is no way of digesting her context and her story without allocating, maybe not blame, but responsibility on the husband, right? And
totally agree.
It could be very easy. It would be super easy for us to just do a character assassination of the mother-in-law, okay? So that's exactly what we'll do. I think the first... Listen here, you old bag. No, but we can see the purple rinse dripping down the back of your skull. No, first things first. Okay. She gives us the context that she married her partner later in life, which is lovely. Nothing nicer than a couple get married later in their life, because he was married when they first met. And she thinks that his mother has always held it against her, thinking that she was the one who drove them apart. Bingo. Like, already, straight out the bat, there is like, we've got reason, right? We've got a motive as to why the mother doesn't doesn't like this quote unquote new girl, even though they've been together for 8 years and have a child. Like that's sort of classic, borderline cliche Hollywood-esque reason for a mother-in-law not to like the new, and I use the term new, you know, very vague, or what's the word figuratively, but like is squeeze.
Yeah.
So from the start of her relationship, she said she's made it her feel like she's not good enough for her son. And then, oh yeah, what's this part? I wrote it down. Yeah. Disneyland. Do you remember? That is just toxic. That is absolute. Like, go on. Sorry.
Well, there's no way either that you can play dumb on that. Like that.
Oh yeah.
No one is that obtuse.
No, it's the sort of feigned ignorance that people who are passive aggressive just they love to bathe in that. They bathe in that sort of faux stupidity and it wasn't you, but it's just. It's so low.
You know what I'm like. You know what I'm like.
Yes. Yeah, they go, it's the sort of pervert being caught at the playground with his trousers down. He's all of a sudden, you know, when the police arrive, oh, sorry, I thought this was a power city. Do you know what I mean? Why would you have your trousers there, Bernard?
It's still a problem.
It's all still a public place. Just pull the trousers up. But do you know what I mean? It's that sort of saying something really biting and then pretending to be innocent. Then, okay, the plot thickens further. And this, for me, is whenever it starts... It reveals itself that the husband, as far as I'm concerned, needs to fucking step up to the plate. Because she says that they live close enough... The mother-in-law lives close enough to their farm, okay? Mm-hmm. And that she, in the early days, she would insist on them calling in on if they're going out for dinner on the way out and always and also on the way home. Bang, no way. Too much.
Hope. Yeah.
Totally inappropriate. She should say to her husband, listen, this is just too much. We shouldn't have to spend this much time at your mother's house and it's interfering with our romantic and dating life because it's just too much.
Completely agree. And he should feel the same way. It's not as if like it's a reasonable request that the wife is kind of...
Yeah, he shouldn't want to. Like, this is becoming a bit sort of Alfred Hitchcock vibes, you know, in terms of like... the relationship with the mother. It's like, I don't really understand that. Why would anybody want to call into their mum on the way in? And by the way, if she was extremely elderly and if they were in a different time, fair enough. But it doesn't sound like that from what the wife is saying.
It doesn't at all. No.
And now the problem is then the wife doesn't say anything then because she didn't think it was her place. And that's that can get yourself into trouble because, you know... If you don't do it at the beginning, and this is for me with everything, if you don't do it today, it's like with mental health, it's like with drinking, it's like with any sort of addiction or issue or any problem or challenge in life. Whatever you don't deal with today is going to be twice as hard to deal with tomorrow. And I feel like that was her first reckoning there, wherein she should have dealt with it. But then the husband's pushing back, being like, oh, she just means well. Fucking get rid of that nonsense. Excuse me, but that is just bullshit. Like, it's such... If you're in a relationship with somebody and they are expressing a concern around your relationship with your family in terms of the proximity, in terms of how close they are, or how involved they are, you need to take that on board. You need to take... Like, your priority should be the happiness of your spouse. Excuse me, your spouse or partner. Rather than preserving some sort of age-old dynamic that you have with your family of origin.
Couldn't agree more. And I think as a society we all need to stop being so apologetic for people's dysfunction just because it's easier to avoid. Like this,
and because it's the way it's always been.
Well. Yeah, good luck.
Oh,
good luck.
Don't worry about Bernard. He's always been like that with waitresses. No, cool. I'm going to pull him around the back of the bar. I'm going to drag him beneath the recycling bin. I'm going to kick the shite out of him. I don't give a fuck. Megan, in no way. Do you know what I mean, though? It's this whole like, oh, he's always been like that. I don't care that he's always been like that. I'm never going to be like that, and I'm not going to respond like that. So that's
not good enough.
That's when I think the husband should really stand up, okay? But then now, and then, sorry, she mentions again that the husband sort of says to her that the mother had always been close with his exes. That's like, why are you putting it on your current partner that it's almost on her to like figure out how to get on with the mother rather than just like addressing the mother's behaviour? And also, by the way, if your bloody exes were so good, why didn't it work out with them? Do you know what I mean? If those exes of yours were so lovable, why are you not laying your sherbet little clown next to them every night when you step into the lab at? Do you know what I mean?
Totally agree.
It's like, it's hilarious. When somebody throws up an ex... Do you know what I mean? When somebody throws out an ex into the argument, cool, go to the ex then, mate.
Yeah. See you later.
So, this then now, and I do need to be careful because I know, like, this is a serious issue, and I don't want to take the complete me haul, but like, I said nothing at the start, thinking things would change when we got married, but that's when they got worse. Oh, sorry, no. There's a part there they mentioned. Let me scroll back here. Sorry. When she'd be in the house and fall asleep on their sofa, and rather than waking her up and dropping her home, he would just let her sleep on the couch or carry her up to the spare room. Like a fucking sack of spuds. This is banana. Like rescuing a pensioner from a burning building. You're bringing your mum upstairs when she lives less than a mile down the road. That's a choice, brother. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know when a child like pretends to be asleep in the car so they don't have to go up the stairs? The mother's just fawning.
The mother, like with their left eye wide open. Do you know what I mean? And then the wife is like, Deirdre, I can see your eyes move, and she just snuggles into the son's armpit. Oh, she's going to have to wear one of his jammies. Like, it's completely insane. So she's like asleep on the couch. By the way, I don't know what's worse. Oh, we'll just leave her. Leave her to just fester into the couch for the night? Or to sling her over your shoulder like a Jansport and bring her upstairs?
Oh, lovely.
And what, do you tuck her in? It's fucking banana. I'm sorry.
Crazy. It's unless someone has agreed to stay in your home or they've had too much to drink, you shout at them and send them home.
There could be a blizzard, right? There could be a genuine blizzard, and like a mid-90s Naomi Campbell could knock on our door in the middle of the night, and she could say, help, I'm experiencing some car trouble, okay? And then we'd say, oh, the mechanic's not open till tomorrow, so you'll have to come in and warm yourself up, but we've got some cocoa on the stove, me and my Kathy Bates era. But you know what I mean? Even then, if Naomi went for a little snooze in between episodes of The Chase on the couch, I'd be like, right, Naomi, it's time to go. This is a completely banana situation, Naomi, and also you've got questionable friends in the diamond industry. However, you know,
we're going there.
Free Tara. But like, I just think, you know, there's so few situations where I go, just let them sleep on the couch. Completely. Especially sober.
Completely.
So, okay, well, just because I could do 20 minutes on that, but we can't. We're going to run out of time. But
no.
Then this is when things completely fall off the cliff. I came home from a run and the car was gone. Are you fucking mental? And then the mother texting the son to say that she was borrowing the car. Again, excuse my language, but like, why is the son not A, kicking up a fight to the mother saying, please don't take my wife's car under any circumstances? And number two, then getting on to the wife, being like, I'm so sorry, my mum's a loon, she's taking your car. Like, he really needs to do something. And then the saddest thing about this is then she says, oh, but at the end of the day, she's very good with their son, and the son really likes them. But although she calls the son my little baby, I don't like that at all. I do like that once off, fair enough. But to be repeatedly doing that again, it is possessive, and it does have some sort of ownership.
It does, and I think what you're seeing is a master in passive-aggressive behaviour, goading someone the whole time, whether it be the car, not texting, oh, sure, I'm terrible with my phone. If you're good enough to text the son, text her. And then you have the avoidant son. So you have two people who are just creating chaos for this poor woman. And the
fact that then they're sort of acting like this is normal, it's almost, and I rarely use this term as people know who listen to the podcast, but it is like a form of gaslighting, because they're making her seem like she's been irrational by having these reactions, but actually I would say that they're perfectly normal reactions. Not that I know anything about normal, but like they are perfectly consistent with reasonable human being reactions to that level of boundaries being crossed and a gross invasion of your privacy. And by the way, beyond that, because like she doesn't even mention the fucking school, like that's before we get then into these bigger power plays of what's at stake, which is like the schooling, education, and $5,000. And no matter what the standard of the school is, it's irrelevant. It's the principal, and not the principal in terms of the person in position of authority within the school grounds. I'm talking about the ethics behind it, and the fact that if she gives away that sort of power to the mum, it's just, she's signing up for a lifetime of this. And I think, look, I just think that the husband, unfortunately, and it's difficult and it is hard, it's hard to as we all know, to turn around when we've experienced a lifetime of certain behaviours that we only learn as adults are dysfunctional, to turn around and address that dysfunction. But it's sort of on him. If he wants to have a healthy marriage with his wife, and by the way, let her son grow up in a sort of environment that's, I suppose, less fucking, I don't know, sorry, I don't want to project stuff about their son, that's not fair. But like,
yeah, I get you though.
I just think to be brutally honest, I think the husband needs to do something. And I think, yeah, I don't think the mother is this sort of innocent, gentle old woman who's just trying to be generous. I'm sure that there's, like, it's not black and white. People are lots of different things at once. But I do think that there's probably an element of maybe motivated by fear, where the mother-in-law fears losing her son. So this is her way of, like, ensuring that that can't happen. Because if they're dependent on her, then, she won't be neglected.
I'm completely with you. I think it's also a really strange one. People conflate money with care. And like a lot of people who use money, actually, not that they can do without it, but it's actually giving away money is the easy part of whatever it is they're doing. They want control.
Once somebody weaponizes finances, they're fucking gone. Do you know what I mean?
Completely agree. And turning down that money isn't being ungrateful. It's actually just trying to do things on your own.
That's
terms.
the power move. The power move is turning down the money, because if anything, by the way, the one thing that having money should do is give that mother-in-law the freedom to make other people's lives better.
Totally.
She has that freedom.
Yeah.
And she's actively choosing not to do that. And that's a problem.
Exactly.
And that's why Elon Musk, if you're listening... Megan.
Oh, yeah, finish that.
Current events. Real World Cup powers that be. You better, I don't know. Okay. Anyway, that's all we have. Let me know what you think. I'm 100. By the way, this is a hill I'm happy to fucking die on. I am 100,000% team wife all the way. Kleena, we are very much with you. The weekly roast is behind you. And I know not all of our listeners might be, but I'm sure after listening to your lovely and heartfelt message that I would say certainly 95% of them are. And with that, that's all I have. I'm off to collect $5,000 from a pensioner minute. Rosie's got to learn, boy. Right. Good luck. I'm going to bed.